Good afternoon. It's Thursday, August 13th. This is our regular Thursday afternoon gathering at 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time at an open door. And this is finding the Advaita, or the non-dual in A Course in Miracles. And I want to welcome everyone that's joined us here. We are going to begin, just so that you can get ready. We're going to begin on page 335, section 4, Looking Beyond Error. That's where we're going to start, but I want to just settle us in a little bit, as we oftentimes do. So just get comfortable in your seat, and you can keep your eyes open or closed as however you feel comfortable. And I'm going to just start with our opening invocation, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about meditation and this is something that I got from Rupert Spira. I get some of his Substack um, messages, and maybe many of you got this morning, but I got it, and I thought it was worth sharing. So I'm going to share it as we're sitting in silence, and we'll just see what comes out of that. So relax your body and let your shoulders relax. Let them soften. Let your eyes soften, and let the back of your head soften. And let your throat soften. Even the breath, let the breath be soft. And let your belly be soft, and your heart be soft. Let your feet be soft. And let your sacrum be soft, your lower back, just soften it. Let your spine soften. And let your brain soften. And let the top of your head soften. And just soften into the pure awareness of your own being. Soft awareness, expecting nothing, open to anything. And in this softness, the softness of this awareness right now, just notice awareness itself. Awareness is not hard. It has no edges. It has no boundaries, no borders. It's colorless. It has no age. It has no memories. And it needs nothing at all. It just is. And sometimes as we sit in this, we float in this pure awareness. Objects arise, thoughts arise, and they are defined things that arise in this nothingness of awareness. They seem to have a shape or a weight or a feeling. But just notice that they arise in the silence and in the spaciousness. And they move and shift. And subside. And the only thing that remains is that which was there in the first place. Just this awareness. And sometimes the mind will say, this is boring. I want to think something. And a thought arises because mind doesn't know what to do with the emptiness of awareness. And yet, even this, even mind and its thoughts arise in the emptiness, in the open awareness of pure being. Notice that in awareness, there are really no memories. And there's no sense of lack. Notice that even without any objects arising as thoughts or feelings, this emptiness feels whole, which is a paradox. But nothing is lacking. You might notice that in this pure being, nothing is happening, but it isn't boring either. There's no sense that anything needs to be added to it. The peace is full. So oftentimes during meditation, we vacillate between thinking thoughts and feeling that we're not really meditating. And then when thoughts go away, we sit for a while, and the mind, which thinks it's empty, gets bored. And so it starts thinking again. And even this push and pull between thinking and boredom happens in the spaciousness of awareness itself. What notices the thinking and what notices the boredom? Only awareness. And so we rest in this space as we can. And the more we rest here, the deeper and wider the path we make toward this true place, which is our true being, our home. And so know yourself welcome here. As the impulse comes together, as we come together to talk about A Course in Miracles, and what we all truly are, which is this pure being, the Holy Spirit. And so we gather, and the quality of how we are together and how we talk and how we share, this is our gift to the world. The purpose of every gathering is discovered in the gathering itself. It is always to recognize beauty and to love what is beautiful. Let us allow conversation to arise out of every particle of our being. Let us be alive in this conversation together and know yourself welcome to this empty table, a cleared space where something new can happen. Or when you take the hands of someone you love, what do those hands become? So welcome here to this table. I'm going to put the page number. We're in the purple book. Thank you for that meditation. That was really lovely. Much appreciated. Letting the day go, letting everything go, and clearing a space for us to share. I'm going to talk a little bit before we start reading about this section. It's titled Looking Beyond Error. And the section begins with oneness. And I want to just ask you to consider that this oneness is intelligent and that forgiveness is not just an emotion or a feeling or a choice, but it's also intelligent. Forgiveness is intelligence because it lies in the recognition of shared oneness. And this intelligence sees that each seeming individual is the oneness, and that for one to be itself, each part of the oneness must be willing to use its own innate intelligence to join together. And this section tells us that this singular intelligence that we share is veiled from itself. And so we need assistance. We need a guide, which it calls the Holy Spirit, which is the remembrance of our true nature, which we just experienced in this meditation. It is of and with and in and as God's being, the deep peace. And so we have this lesson of sharing, which is a natural ability. A course tells us, this section tells us, sharing is a natural ability. That's why it feels good to share. And not sharing is not a natural ability. It is a learned ability through fear, and that is why it doesn't feel good. And I think we all know this, but I can't emphasize over and over again, goodness feels good because it is good, and it is what you are. And that's why it feels good. It's what you are. And the more we recognize and say yes to that, the more we stay at home base. And the more that we recognize the feeling that this doesn't feel good, the more we realize we've come out of the circle, right? And so we have to let go of fear and share. That's what this is, what we're going to read here. And yet we fear this sharing because we don't know the abundance that we have and that we are. And then this brings us back full circle to forgiveness. And why forgiveness is our function? Because we forget, right? We forget. And then fear arises again. And then this section ends with a description of the second coming, which always excites me because I love the idea of the second coming. And so that's what we're going to do today. We'll see how far we get. That's where we're going to go. And here's who I have. I'm going to take my notes here so that I can remember. I have Chuck as the first reader, and then Alice, and then Mel, and then Jerry, if Jerry will read, and then Carol, and then Shannon. And we'll see how far we get. And then I have Regis, but we'll see how far we get with this reading. And what I'd like to suggest is that we read 2 paragraphs. And then if anyone has something that they want to share, or if there's any line in anything that we've read that really stands out for you, excuse me, then just call it out and we can talk about it. So we're going to start right at the beginning of section 4, Looking Beyond Error. And Chuck, would you read the first 2 paragraphs, please? He's finding where to read. Is that right, Chuck?
He's frozen.
Oh gosh, okay. All right, I'm going to ask Alice. Will you read the first
I'm
2
not
paragraphs?
hearing anything.
That's okay, Chuck. You'll read next. Alice is going to read the first 2 paragraphs. You froze up.
Oh, I did.
Mm-hmm. You did. So we'll have Alice read the first 2, and then
Okay.
you'll
Well, make
read.
sure that I'm at the same place where she's supposed to. Does it start with atonement is for all?
That's where Alice is going to start.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. Take it away, Alice.
Okay. Atonement is for all because it is the way to undo the belief that anything is for you alone. To forgive is to overlook. Look then beyond error and do not let your perception rest upon it. For you will believe what your perception holds. Accept as true only what your brother is, if you would know yourself. Perceive what he is not, and you cannot know what you are, because you see him falsely. Remember always that your identity is shared, and that its sharing is its reality. You have a part to play in the atonement, but the plan of atonement is beyond you. You do not know how to overlook errors, or you would not make them. It would merely be further error to think either that you do not make them or that you correct them without a guide to correction. And if you do not follow this guide, your errors will not be corrected. The plan is not yours because of your limited idea about what you are. But the limitation is where all errors arise. The way to undo them is therefore not of you, but for you.
Thank you. So this is kind of in a nutshell. I love this. Atonement is for all because it is the way to undo the belief that anything is for you alone. This sentence really reminds me of Matt Kahn, who said, everything is for everything. I have that on my bathroom mirror. Everything is for everything. How could it be otherwise?
Yeah. And that's the wonder of allness and oneness, just that, and I think I read something that's like, but my previous prayers were like that the sun would shine on my garden. Do you know what I mean? Not everybody's garden, but and something I have, like what I want for myself, I want for everyone was a opening for me too. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. So accept as true only what your brother is if you would know yourself. Yes. Yeah. And Mel, what have you got?
Well, I was also thinking that what Alice had just said, though, what you want for others is what you want for yourself. What you want for yourself, you want for others. But what if they don't want that?
Mm.
So where do we draw the line? We have that unique, we all are one, essentially, but we're unique expressions of that one, right?
Yeah, this is where I think the whole idea of levels is important in a course. Because if we're at the level of material form, then that is entirely possible. It makes sense at the level of form that you might want something that someone else doesn't want. But at the level of spirit, which is the level of reality,
Mm.
all want the same thing, which is for all. Yeah, it's all for all.
I think that beyond is like just beyond me. I mean, I guess it's sort of immature to think I'm just going to pray that I have peace or that I have contentment or love or what, not, so much.
Yeah.
I want a red car and everybody gets a red car, but it's, so it's at that other level. It's at the
Yeah.
spiritual level
Yeah.
that
Mel, what do you think?
Well, so that eye, it depends which eye we're using. So if you're using the eye that is all inclusive, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
The
which
big
self,
eye, the
the
big
big eye.
eye.
It gets so confusing with language, yeah. That's like there was the someone told me the platinum rule. The golden rule is do unto others as you would have them do unto you. But it was do unto others as they would have them do unto them, as they would like you to do unto them. You
Yeah,
see the difference? But it's the
yeah,
same level. That's at the same level.
yeah, yeah.
Thank you. That helps. That's clear. Good
It's a
clarity.
good question, though. It was a very good question.
that's the tricky part, right? It's like,
Right.
allness and individuality and
But see, we get the clue to that, Mel, when it says, accept as true only what your brother is, if you would know yourself. And so the truth, the reality is spirit. It's not material form.
Mhm.
So there's your clue right there.
But it's also saying we can't do that without a guide, right?
Yes, yes, which is something I want to talk about after Carol shares. I want to see what you all think about something in that second paragraph.
Yeah, well, it really stuck out for me. And then when Mel spoke, it was like, oh God, yeah. Um, because I mean, I really see where it says the plan is not yours because of your limited ideas about what you are. But this limitation is where all errors arise. And that's what it is. We think, we assume that we're a body mind. We assume we know what we are, and really, in truth, we're not. We're everything. We're all possibilities playing out, and so
Are we? I mean, I love that, and intellectually, I can say I agree with you, Carol, but I have to trust that that's true because I don't know. I have never seen that. I don't know
well,
that.
good point, Amy. It seems to be the experience that is known here, because everything is changing. Thoughts, sensations, perspectives change, which changes experiences. Everything is happening and changing and moving other than
The only way that I can
knowing.
the only way that I can know what you said is true, that which I think is that everything is for everything, is through my own experience.
Yes.
That's the only way I can know that. And I
Yes.
can know that through my experience when I pay attention, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Everything is changing and moving. And which is what's happening
Yeah, my point is that,
out of
and
itself.
yeah, and all of us have,
That's, yeah.
yeah, and we've all had the experience of thinking something wasn't good. But when we have gone through it, and usually it's in time, and of course tells us forgiveness takes place in time, that it all was all right. It all worked out for the best.
Right.
And that is one way we experience everything being for everything. But we have to pay attention in order to understand that.
Yes. And noticing that time is what this experience seems to be in. Whatever's going on is in time. That's where, I mean, just we had a direct experience over the last few days with having visitors here that just left. And like what Mel said about knowing, or you know, what was it that you said, Mel? If somebody else is
Um,
not happy, so you know what happiness is, but somebody else might not want that.
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing. All of it is perfect.
even when
And
it happens. Yeah.
so that's it, because everything is happening. So
Okay, I'm
there's
gonna,
not an opinion that is valid,
Mhm.
because an opinion is of a body mind.
Exactly. Exactly. Thank you, Carol. Mel, what you
Oh,
got?
you need, I just had an example when you said paying attention, because I've been paying attention to how everything is working for me or working together. And for example, I was trying to get home at a, kind of in a rush, and I make it made like every light. It was like, wow, it would just turn as I got there. It was the coolest thing. And then I was in the store yesterday and I forgot something. I was really, yeah. So I was there again today and it was on sale and I saved like twice as much because I didn't get it that time. I forgot it. But I mean, you just pick up, start to notice, just notice. And it's so cool. Like if you didn't do something right, and then just wait and see how it plays out. And so many cool things happen. It's very cool. If you just pay attention, like you say, if you notice that it's all working together for good, as
Yes.
Jago tells us too.
Yeah, everything is for me. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah. Thank you. Cindy. Cindy, happy birthday to Cindy again.
I'm having the best day ever by coming to all these meetings and celebrating being me. So, guess I was looking for an opportunity to share this. And it may seem simple, but so I've been playing with the understanding that everything in the world is a reflection and it's an opportunity. And instead of looking at it backwards, I've been sitting in asking, what is this for, or how can I use this? And I had an experience, must have been Monday, maybe Tuesday, where I went to grab my keys to go check my mail and I couldn't find my keys. And and it was in the middle of a diet, which was so interesting. So I had a chance to sit with that. And in the past, I can't find my keys. That's my house keys, my car keys. My keys are always in the same place. And there's that nervous energy that arises when you've lost something. Chuck's told that story. And I watched that fluttering and not doing anything. And I looked for a minute or two, but then I just sat with that question, right? And I got real still and I said, okay, so everything's happening in me. That's a Course in Miracles line. Everything is happening, everything is in you. And then the second line, which is what we're talking about, I literally sat there with this, and everything that's going on in the world is an opportunity for me to, and after that, it doesn't even matter. Rise in consciousness, heal something, it doesn't matter. And I sat with the missing keys in that space, watch the nervous energy like rise, sort of like bubbles, and the impulse to go and search, which wasn't very strong at this point. It was very curious. And after about 3 or 4 minutes, like it was so magical. I saw in my mind's eye, and I don't usually see the visual, I watched the keys drop from the hook to the side of the couch. I would never have found them there. They were not visible. I got off the couch and I went and I picked up the keys from where the mind told me they were. So it was a very interesting, almost like, all right, this is happening. And right at the beginning, instead of you like going and doing the things in the world, I sat and I asked. And I dissolved some nervousness, and then the world changed, which was, I think, fits with this conversation, right?
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
that's my share.
Yeah. I really like the first sentence in paragraph 2, which says you have a part to play in the atonement, but the plan is beyond you. And in a way, that lets the personal mind off the hook and is an incentive, in a sense, to just say, I don't know, right? I don't know. And that reminds me so much. And I look at this in terms of the non-dual teachings. And, Helen Hamilton saying, I know that I am. I don't know what I am, but I know that I am. And in this paragraph, I think it takes it one step further and says, okay, your part in the atonement is to know that you are. It's to know that you are. But beyond that, you don't know, right? At least not right now. Beyond that, you don't know. So be happy with that. Just be satisfied with that. Surrender to that. Right? That's what that says for me. And I really like that. And then it gives me permission. It says you have to have a guide for correction, you know? And as Mel put it, I think it was Mel, maybe it was, no, actually it was Carol. You don't know, like the small self doesn't know. And so you have a limited idea about what you are. And that's where all errors arise, is in that limited idea of what we are. Right. And so to go back to Carol and Mel, when you have company over, they have limited ideas in all likelihood, not necessarily, but in all likelihood, they have limited ideas about what they are. They don't know what they are. So you have to know what you are for them. And in knowing what you are for them, that doesn't mean that you don't get irritated or annoyed or that things work out perfectly. But when they don't, you have to hold it in knowing what you are and what they are. And sometimes we can, and sometimes we can't. Right?
And that's part of it too. That's it also. So that's the whole thing of it. Just everything's happening, and thoughts come in thinking that, oh no, this is good or this is bad or whatever. And really nothing is good or bad. It's just what it is.
It's just
And
what it is.
you just realize that everybody's fine, even when it would seem at some point that this is not fine at all. And you realize, oh my God, like
Yeah. When you
how
know
we
what,
believe thoughts that come up, and they're just
oh,
so far off there's just no opinion needed.
yeah, yeah. And it's another opportunity to turn around and look at yourself as, what am I in truth? What am I in truth? So it's
Maybe
always,
whatever's rising in the moment, it's the experience of that is being experienced and
well,
known.
yeah.
But
And what is having the experience and knowing the experience is the I am. It is the I am awareness. That is what is knowing the experience. What else could know it?
exactly.
So it just points back to that,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. All right, Chuck, do you want to read paragraph 3 and 4? These are great paragraphs.
Well, hopefully,
Yeah, if you can do it,
you can hear me. And
if you're willing.
I'm willing to, if it'll let me. 3, starting with the atonement is a lesson
That's right.
in sharing, which is given you because you have forgotten how to do it. The Holy Spirit merely reminds you of what is your natural ability by reinterpreting the ability to attack, which you did, make it into the ability to share. He translates what you have made into what God created. But if you would accomplish this through him, you cannot look on your abilities through the eyes of the ego, or you will judge them as it does. All their harmfulness lies in its judgment, as all their helpfulness lies in the judgment of the Holy Spirit. Do I go on to 4 or?
Yeah, if you would read 4.
The ego has a plan of forgiveness because you are asking for one, but not of the right teacher. The ego's plan, of course, makes no sense and will not work. By following it, you will merely place yourself in an impossible situation, which the ego always leads you. Its plan is to have you see error clearly first and then overlook it. But how can you overlook what you have made real? By seeing it clearly, you have made it real and cannot overlook it. Wow.
Thank you. Yeah, there you go.
I
There
got to
you
reread that now that I'm not reading it.
go. So the ego's plan, if we want to call it that, the way the limited mind sees is, you did make that error. Like, you didn't clean out the dishwasher, but I'm going to forgive you because I know that it's the right thing to do and I'm a good girl or I'm a good partner, but I'm still pissed off that you didn't clean out the dishwasher. But I'll forgive you. I'll let it go for now, right? I'll let it go for now. But the ego's plan doesn't work because the next day or maybe 20 minutes later, something else happens. And we think, we explode, right? I was willing to overlook that one, but then you did that. And now I'm really mad, right? Do you see what I'm saying? Does that make sense? So you can only do this by sharing. The atonement is a lesson in sharing. Sharing what? Sharing identity.
I just want to get a clarification on that because I'm not sure. My thinking was like the way you described it. If I'm forgiving you because you messed up with the or whatever, the dishes. Is that what and I'm forgiving you out of my kindness and my spiritual goodness. And then but I hang on to that and I come back the next time and not, but I'm thinking, I'm hearing that, or before I was thinking that what you did with the dishes really wasn't bad or wrong or incorrect. It was just me making that determination. Does that make any sense? Are you hearing what I'm confused about?
I
I
think
see it. I was going to throw in because I was thinking about that too. Isn't it because you're believing the illusion? You're
yeah,
believing that you're the character in that dream. And so you step apart and say, oh, it's not real. And so there's nothing to forgive. You're forgiving what's never really happened. It's not true. It's part of the illusion. Is that?
yeah. Byron Katie talks about this. She used to get really peeved at her kids because they wouldn't pick up their socks.
Oh, I remember.
Right. And she was always going around, and her day would be ruined because she would say, pick up your socks. And then they would pick them up for a little while and then they'd stop picking them up. And she was just constantly upset because people wouldn't pick their socks up. And then after her awakening, she realized if I want the socks pick up, I pick them up. If I want them picked up, I can pick them up. I'm the one that's that's having the issue here, you know? So the ego's way of doing it is to see the error first and then forgive the error. The
Okay.
Holy Spirit's way of sharing is to say, I'm with you in this. We're all one. This is all, as Carol tells us, and everything is for everything.
Okay.
Everything.
Thank
The
you.
socks are everything for everything. If I choose to be upset about the socks, that's another reminder that, oh, I have forgotten what I truly am. Right?
So so the condemnation of you didn't did you didn't empty the dishwasher, you didn't pick up your stack. If we get behind that, it isn't just like, is it you're just supposed to pick up and you're supposed to, put the clean dishes away? Or is that you're faulty because you didn't do that? Or you don't care about me, or whatever I make it mean, whatever I make the socks mean about whatever I'm condemning the other for. And I thought you were going to, the Byron Katie that it took me a long time to memorize was, so if it is, I think you're faulty, or I think you're selfish, or I think you're naughty, because you didn't, it's like, what is it? Is it, I am who I think you to be in the moment I see you as that. So I'm sharing that I really think I'm naughty. I, you know, I'm sharing the negativity of the condemnation. But I am who I think you to be in the moment I see you as that. I'm pretty sure is the Byron Katie quote that I packed up and took along with me.
Okay.
But it's the condemnation of is not just the chore, it's what I'm making that person wrong or you what's the right fill in the blank.
If you loved me, you would do what I ask
Right,
you.
right. You
Yeah.
don't love. Yeah,
And so you don't love me.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I'm the one not being loving because I'm being condemning.
Mm-hmm.
To take that quote and stick some examples in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Um, but the point is still the separation, and the point is still blame and forgiveness.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
and
And
sometimes
awareness that we're wound that we're doing this.
yes, the awareness is critical. Um, so by seeing it, you make it real and you cannot overlook it, right? By seeing that the error has occurred, you make it real and then you can't overlook it. I'm not going to say any more about that. You all know that. Jerry, you had your hand up. It's great to see you here, Jerry.
Hi, everybody. Thank you
Oh,
for your invitation.
yeah.
I have a question, and I'm sorry it doesn't really fit with the last paragraph because I think I'm stuck in the previous paragraph, or previous paragraphs. If I look at the atonement, my part to play in the atonement, if I read that from my old dualistic mind, I would just I would read that as I have a part to play out there in this world to help other people so that we can all become one. So that's the dualistic. So the non-dualistic is our when I see the oneness within myself, then I can feel that, or I understand that intellectually. But my question is, but the atonement is for us at this level too, at this level of, at the dualistic level too, I guess. I mean, it's for all levels, right?
I,
It's for
yeah,
all.
I know.
There's no differentiation, right? If it's all is all, I don't know.
Yeah, you're really good. It's a really good point. So when I say I, as an individual, have a part to play in the atonement, in bringing the atonement, where am I bringing the atonement? Am I bringing it to this world? Am I healing this world? No, no, I'm not healing this world. How can you heal something that doesn't exist? Right? Right. Can you solve a problem um, that is non-existent? Right. Do you see what I'm saying? And so when I think that I, as someone that understands atonement, need to go out in the world and teach atonement, then that's the ego working right there. Right? My participation in atonement is to see that I am one with all life, all the sonship, and then to live and move and act in the dream of this world, knowing that that is true. That's my job, right? I don't have to be a doer. I don't have to go out and do anything.
I'm not sure if this fits or applies. I don't know where I came from, but I'm hearing in my head uh, that somewhere I've said, my only responsibility is to accept the atonement for myself.
There you go. There you go.
I understand. Thank you for clarifying that. And I understand that much more deeply. Thank you.
Thank you for the
It's
question.
kind of like, yeah,
Like what?
take care of yourself and everything will fall into place, basically. I mean, what I mean by that is if I see my oneness, then there's nothing out there to fix. Yeah.
Yeah. But it
Yeah.
isn't my oneness, right? I am one with it, right? It
Hmm.
is the oneness is what I am. It
Hmm.
is, it is what I am. So when we did that meditation in the beginning, and everyone hopefully sat in the silence and reached a point, hopefully, of silence, and even if it was just an instant of peace, that peace is a shared peace. That's the sharing. And I don't mean that we each shared it individually. I mean that it's the same peace for all of us. If you could describe the oneness, the spaciousness, the indescribableness of pure being, that is the same for everyone. We are all in that space together. We are all there. There's no separation there. because we are all having the same experience. Oneness feels and is experienced as the same for everyone, because it is what we are. And once I really understand that, then my connection to everyone else becomes way more obvious, even if they don't recognize it. And all I have to do, as Chuck said, is hold that awareness in my being. Right. And that's why it says right in the beginning, atonement is for all. It is for all. Accept as true only what your brother is, because that is what your brother is that peace that you experience when time and space and the egoic mind and thoughts and the mental body are no longer present in awareness. It's just pure being, pure awareness. That is the shared experience. Cindy. Wow. I can't believe what time it is. I just looked at the clock.
This conversation has been captivating. Two quick things that I'm inspired to add. One, this piece that you're talking about, I've heard Rupert describe it as this, like the space in the open field. And then you
Yes.
put tents down in the space, the air in the tents. Like, is the air in tent A different or disconnected from the air in tent B? It's all, that's the, when he described that oneness, I got it,
Yes.
right now you're talking about the piece. The other thing, and I'm going to say this slowly for me, the guides call it the monad or the risen Christ, the aspect of me that knows who I am. The atonement's not for that either, because the aspect of me who knows who I am doesn't need atonement. So the atonement really is the withdrawing my believing attention from that which I'm not. So it's an interesting kind of space to understand that statement, all I need to do is accept the atonement for myself, is not really true, because there's no one here. What happens in that process is the parts that I thought I was, which are really just ideas of separation, dissolve, because they were never who I was.
Wow. Yeah.
And what we'll read next week is that's the second coming. Right there. That is the second coming.
So, Cindy, you're saying there's no myself, there's no separate self to reach atonement.
That's
We're already that.
separation is just an idea,
Thanks. Yeah.
a thought. It's an idea. So what we're really doing is withdrawing attention from an idea of separation.
Great. Thanks.
Because that lands, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I got to keep doing it over and over and over.
Well, I picked up on the myself. I want, atonement is for myself, but there's no separate self there. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's the progressive path, isn't it, Mel?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's where we are as long as we are there, right?
Amy, before we close, I just want to thank you for that meditation at the beginning. That was very powerful. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I should do that more often, Jerry. I forget, but I think it's especially for those of us, who've had a day, experience today before we get here at 4 o'clock. It's good to just kind of, thank you, Jerry. So next week we'll be on paragraph 5, and we'll see how we go there. All right.
Thank you.
Good night, beloveds. Oh,
A great week.
I'll do our closing invocation, which is always a good one. I always have to leave on this one. to tell you to go out and break your vows. Right? So this is from Rumi, Jerry. I always read this poem at the end of our meeting. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, fire worshiper, lover of leaving, this is not a caravan of despair. It does not matter that you have broken your vows 1,000 times. Still come, and yet again. So go break your vows. We'll see you tomorrow, 10 o'clock, reading the guides.
Happy
Okay.
birthday, Cindy.